Hi fans, welcome back to my channel. So, I taught water marbling today. Do you think this is a real water marble? It's not. I faked it using this plate, BP L061, and I used this pattern. Now, trick to water marbling is you don't want it to look too real. Does that make sense? See, this one's lovely, but it's very, very even. I want it to look a bit like I'm actually water marbled, so I'm going to cheat. So we're going to stamp, and I have got my XL jelly stamper, which you can see through. I've got a new head on it and it is so much nicer. The other one was all torn and disgusting. I've got Moyu polishes. You can use whatever stamping polish you've got, and I've prepared my manicure already with 3 coats of gel polish, and then they've had a no wipe top coat on, so they're all ready to go. And we're going to be working on the white nail today. So you need a scraper, and if you're not sure how to stamp, you can watch the rest of my channel videos. There's quite a few pictures on how to stamp and videos and all that jazz. So this is actually reverse stamping, which I'm quite new to, but I'm really enjoying it at the minute. And you'll also need a little brush to paint with. So first things first, you're going to pick up your image. So with stamping, I'll try and move out of the way. You work quickly, get your polish on, make sure there's plenty of polish on, especially when you've got one that needs a lot of detail like this one. Get it on, get it scraped off quickly, and get it roll onto your stamper. Hopefully that's picked up. So yeah, you've got a really good pick up there. I'm really quite pleased with that. That's a little bit broken there. Oops, even more broken now. So I shall use the 3 that aren't. So, reverse stamping. I don't know if you'll be able to see that like that. Let's pull that out so we can see. Obviously, stamping polishes dry quite quickly, so be careful. Don't leave them open forever. It's not going to do them any good. And what we need to do now is fill in the blanks. So I'm just going to move my camera because it's absolutely doing my head in. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Okay, I'm back. So it's still a bit wobbly, but I'm out of my own way as such now. So we're going to fill in the blanks. So dip a little bit of stamping polish onto your striping brush, and all you're going to do is fill in the gaps very carefully. Now they can tear quite easily, so make sure you've got enough polish on. And with water marbling, make sure you put it in the correct position, because if you do get it wrong and put, you know, a blue where a green should be or whatever, it's going to look a bit weird. So if you do the first one's pink, make sure all the first ones are pink, the next row's greeny blue, and so on and so forth. So you fill in all the gaps. Trick to this is not to use too much polish, but at the same time don't use too little either, because it will tear your design and you'll have to start all over again, which is a bit annoying. But the beauty of reverse stamping is you don't actually have to go into all of the parts. You don't have to draw the lines quickly, as long as you're not going over the white line too much. You don't have to be particularly neat, really. When you've got a design like this, it's quite easy, because when you turn it over, you're not going to see the mess you've made on this side. That's why it's called reverse stamping, because you are going to reverse it in a minute. So we continue to fill in. Make sure it's got a good coverage, but it's not too wet and gloopy in places, because that will smudge when you come to stamp if you're not careful. And I found that on my other nail I needed a row of 3 of these little swirly bits to cover well. And you can check that before you stamp if you need to. I'll show you that in a second. I've decided to do sort of a mint green, pink and white theme for this set. I've also tried to do a gel extension on myself today. Now I am allergic to gel usually, so we will have to see what happens. I did put a thin layer on the other day and I didn't react to it, so with a bit of luck I'm not going to react to this particular brand. I've just recently swapped to England and I really like their products. I think they're good. You'll notice also that I'm spinning my stamp around. Don't try and work over yourself, it's too hard. So when you look through it now, you can see that you can start to see the colours showing. I'll just clean my brush and we'll work on the second colour now. I'll put the lid back on my pink, I don't want that to work, and that particular one is called Candy Floss. So the bluey pinky green, it's not pinky green, what am I on about? You know what I mean, bluey green, mint green. Here's the next bit. Try not to leave any gaps though, because it does look a bit scruffy if you do end up not quite covering where you need it to be. We are faking it, remember, it needs to look as neat as possible without being over the top. Keep twisting your stamper to be able to get it where you want it without splodging too much. Because you've put a white base down, even if you've left any tiny gaps, they'll just be picked up with the white, so it won't really matter. Okay, so next thing to do is just leave that to set for a little while. Not too much, just make sure the paint on the back isn't super gloopy, because otherwise when you start to stamp it, it will kind of splodge. I can see that it's quite thick, sort of where that pink is there, so I'm just going to let that dry just a tiny little bit more and make sure it's not going to splodge everywhere. So in between, let's clean our brush, put that away. This is the Pearl Liner brush from Glitter Goddess Nail Supplies. I do like this plate, I think it's really cool. I'll just give that a swipe with acetone, make sure it's going to go away cleanish. I never see them clean these properly, they're always slimy when I get back to them. So hopefully now that should be enough time to ready to stamp, so let's see. Now before you go and press it, make sure it's covering as much of the nail as possible, so if you can see that, so that you're not showing too much white. So hopefully I can do it now. So you press down, quite firm pressure, see how my finger's dimpling, and then roll it a little bit, make sure it's all covered, and then very gently roll away. And there we have it, fake water marble. So next job, let's just gently clean up around the edges. I don't do too much, because I find you just need to clean up where you're going to put your top coat on. The rest you can do after you've top coated, it's much easier. You don't want to risk spoiling the design. So that's enough for a tidy up. Quite happy with that, so I'm going to top coat that now with a no wipe top coat. Okay, so it's had 60 seconds in the lamp and there's still a few bits and bobs we don't particularly want, so I'm just going to get a little free cloth and some acetone. And because you've top coated now, as long as you've done it correctly, you can literally go over the top and it's really not going to hurt the design. I just find it a much quicker way than messing about trying to tidy it up. Now you can't do this with normal polish obviously, but if you're using gel like me, it's not a problem. So there we go. How to fake water marble. Hope you found this really useful. Give us a thumbs up if you did, and obviously I will finish off this later on. The next one we're going to do is how to do this super cute little hedgehog. So hit me back for the next video if you want to watch that, and I will see you soon. Bye now.